installation or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions. Get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Tonight, the Bucks are blasting off into Houston to take on the Rockets.
Around a Giannis screen, pocket pass, Giannis with a head full of steam, glides to the rim and lays it in. Bucks by 4.
Our coverage starts at 6 with Bucks shoot-arounds. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 101, it's 49 degrees and sunny. We are at our high for the day under sunny skies, overnight low of 33. I'm Greg Matzik from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. A Whitefish Bay Elementary School associate principal is facing homicide charges. Associate principal at Cumberland Elementary, Rebecca Solomon, charged with homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle for a crash in December in the town of West Bend. Police say Solomon failed to yield at County Trunk P and County Trunk NN, crashing into another vehicle. The driver of that other vehicle was seriously injured and ultimately died a few days later. Solomon has an initial court appearance in Washington County Court scheduled for March 18th. House Republicans are hoping to pass a budget resolution later today. The plan is on shaky ground, however, in a House that is run by a razor-thin GOP majority. ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
In addition to providing for the president's border and energy priorities, the House's budget blueprint would tee up an expansion of the expiring Trump tax cuts. Trouble for Republicans is the pay-for provisions that aim to cut up to $2 trillion from the social safety net programs. Despite formal denials from GOP leadership, many fear that Medicaid would bear the brunt of the cuts. Already 3 Republicans have publicly vowed to vote no on the budget plan, and that's enough to kill it.
Meanwhile, President Trump's budget plans include $4.5 trillion in tax breaks and $2 trillion in spending cuts. 21 civil service employees have quit Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, saying they won't use their expertise to legitimize Doge's actions.
The resignations include engineers, data scientists, and product managers who said in a joint letter they would not use their skills to compromise core government systems or jeopardize American sensitive data. The letter criticized the dismissals earlier this month of 40 Doge staffers, saying their removal endangers millions of Americans who rely on Social Security, among other systems, and makes them less safe. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The staffers who resigned work for what was once known as the United States Digital Service. A well-known burger joint on Milwaukee's east side is closed. The George Webb location at Oakland is shut down as of last Wednesday. Senior broker at Ogden Real Estate, Michael Testa, tells WTMJ the goal is to fill it with a more recognizable national chain.
We are looking for a little bit more of a national chain that's going to have some stability within the space rather than a local group. At the same time, looking for something that's going to fit the neighborhood and going to be a benefit for everybody in the area.
George Webb still operates 21 restaurants across the state. And the United Performing Arts Fund hopes to boost fundraising by 16% this year.
The number is $10.7 million.
A launch event this evening will be the first for UPAF's new president and CEO, Amory Scobie-Polachek.
Enjoying performances from the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. There will be a number from Frankenstein the Musical, which Skylight is putting on, and also a performance by the ballet.
UPAF and your donations, the reason our fine arts in Milwaukee are as fine as they are.
We are the largest United Performing Arts Fund in the nation.
Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up about 100 points today at 43,559. NASDAQ off about 230 points, trading at 19,059. S&P 500 down about 25 today, just under the 6,000 mark at 5958. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
How would you like to own a jewelry store? Kessler's Diamonds is an employee-owned company.
And Kessler's is growing. Are you the kind of person we're looking for?
Does it make you happy to make other people happy? Are you a problem solver?
Would you like to wake up every morning knowing that you're going to help a lot of people find joy today?
Kessler's Diamonds is people serving people. Keep in mind that Kessler's is owned by its employees. So let me ask you this. Are you a good enough leader that you can be an owner who leads other owners?
Don't worry, you don't have to know about diamonds. We can teach you about diamonds. But the people we're looking for aren't looking for a job.
Did someone pop into your head just now? Do you think you might know who we're looking for?
Give that person a call.
Send them an email. Tell them to walk into Kessler's Diamonds and say to the person who greets them,
I think I want to work here.
Welcome to Kessler's. A fantastic place to buy jewelry and a wonderful place to work.
For the store nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hi folks, this is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from a Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. It's Scouting Combine Week underway in Indianapolis. GM Brian Gutekunst among the Packers brass in attendance.
We need to affect the quarterback with 4. You know, we had good moments last year, but it just needs to be more consistent. It needs to be able to control the game, and we need to control the game and finish games off. I'm excited about the guys we have in the room. We'll see if we add to it, but that's got to get better if we're going to accomplish our goals that we want to accomplish in this season.
Meanwhile, the Brewers continue Cactus League play this afternoon against the Guardians. Our next broadcast scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. The Bucks are in Houston tonight to face the Rockets. Coverage begins following the 6 o'clock news. And in college basketball, 21st-ranked Marquette takes on Providence tonight. It's a 6 o'clock tip. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN. 11th-ranked Wisconsin hosts Washington at the Kohl Center for an 8 o'clock tip. Badger Sports Update, sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. Taking a look at your roads here, WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Update. There is a disabled vehicle, 43 southbound at I-794 East. Right shoulder is blocked due to that disabled vehicle. Volume is pretty light. In fact, it's light across the system this afternoon, so not slowing you down. Standard travel times across the system this afternoon.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Partly cloudy today, a high of 49 degrees. Sun is out here in downtown Milwaukee. Clouds increasing tonight with a low of 33. Rain expected on Wednesday with a high of 45. More rain in the forecast Thursday with a high of 42. It's 49 in Madison, 45 in Green Bay, Waukesha, 49 and 49 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:09.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
All right, Brian, a
Yes.
high of 49. Did you wear your coat today?
Of course I wore my coat today. I'm not not a goofball. Here's my thing. I'm to the age now where I'm always worried that I have a long drive.
You do have a long drive.
What if something happens?
That is true.
I have to have my coat. But I did not, yesterday driving home, I did not wear a hat.
Nice.
So that was progress.
It's an improvement.
It's getting there, and I just have on a regular old button down today.
Yeah.
No sweater, no sweatshirt.
We're getting there. Let's just hope it doesn't dive back down.
It's supposed to get cool this weekend, but then come back up next week. So anytime we're off, it's going to be cold and miserable. Then when we're at work, it's going to be beautiful.
Which is really the way it should be,
It
right?
should be
It's
that
just
way.
never to be able to enjoy the outdoors.
No, stay inside. That's best.
All right. Well, coming up today, it is Tuesday. So we're back on Giving Tuesday. And today we are talking about the Kinship Community Food Center, which is much more than just a food pantry. And it's one of the places you can get that incredible chicken sandwich from Tandem since Tandem closed. So we're going to be talking to the Senior Communications Director from there. And then remember when we talked about the record high numbers of spending from Black Friday and Cyber Monday? Well, there's a new report in the Wall Street Journal that may indicate whom was spending that much money.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, it was not me either. So we will report on that before the top of the hour news.
Then we're going to spin around the state, and it may be 50-some here, but where Dom Catronio is with the Brewers at spring training, it's like 75 and sunny. So we're going to check in with Dom. The spring training started the other day.
Yeah.
We've got a game here tomorrow on WTMJ. So we're going to find out what's going on with the Brewers with Dom. And then, could the Packers be crybabies? Yes. We'll tell you what the Packers did to what they complained to the NFL about, which will lead us into a conversation on grit. Not the stuff at the bottom of your sink, but that internal grit that helps you succeed. It makes you a little tougher. Can that be taught? Well, a new survey says yes, it probably can.
There you go. All right. Well, to start with, though, did you watch back in 2020 Jon Stewart's movie Irresistible?
It sounds familiar.
Okay, so it had already been filmed, and so it was slated to come out, but it was 2020, so it was I think it was released immediately to streaming. And it was supposed to it wasn't supposed to. It took place in a fictional Wisconsin conservative rural town.
Okay.
And it basically was Steve Carell as a Democratic strategist coming in and helping a veteran run for mayor.
Right.
And then there was another candidate who was supposed to be more of the Republican. And so it was a story. It was a comedy because it's Jon Stewart, but it was basically about the ridiculousness of astroturfing and these national consultants coming in and how much money is raised and they got a lot of things wrong about Wisconsin. First of all, our mayoral candidates, not partisan. So right off the get-go, the Democrat versus Republican strategist thing was wrong. There was a lot of Bud Light featured, which I took offense to instead of the Miller product placements. The accents were mediocre at best, but spoiler alert for people who hadn't seen it, the point of it is how much money is in there. And so it ends up that the two candidates have duped the strategists in order to raise money for the town. And basically all that money gets put back into the town instead of, for the actual campaign.
Right.
And it was fine. I think it's probably, as far as political comedies go, forgettable.
This wasn't the one where the one I thought of when you first said this was where Kevin Costner was like the vote, and everybody was trying to get him. He lived in like a trailer out in the middle of nowhere.
Was he in this?
Not in this one.
Okay.
That's why I got confused.
Okay. But anyways, so I thought of that movie today because I was thinking, as we have spoken about and we'll continue to talk about until April 1st, the spending for the Wisconsin State Supreme Court race, how it will probably go past the $51 million that was spent in 2023. But in general, as a swing state, we always have a lot of money spent basically every time there is a statewide election. So there is a new proposal, not even a new proposal, it's a new law, but it's being challenged in the courts in Maine that would curb political spending. So when we come back, we're going to talk to Peter Cameron from the Badger Project, who wrote about this. We're going to talk about what the law is and how much it would actually change anything in Wisconsin, considering what our finance laws are. So stay with us on Spanning the State.
From trailblazers to innovators, we're honoring the legacies that have shaped our world. Join us in celebrating Black History Month on Wisconsin's Afternoon News on February 27th. We're shining a spotlight on the pioneers, pathfinders, and visionaries who've made an incredible impact on our community. Tune in on February 27th for special stories, guests, and discussions beginning at 3 p.m. Only here on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's Brian Noonan here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. Now listen, you may be like me. I've struggled with weight my whole life, but since starting this weight loss journey 6 weeks ago, I've lost 33 pounds, 5 inches off my waist. I sleep better, I have more energy, and I feel great. It's the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day. It's an easy-to-follow doctor-developed program. It helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely. No, you don't have to take any shots. You don't have to eat packaged meals. You actually eat your own food, and there is a lot of it. I am never hungry. I'm getting really good and creative at cooking different meat and vegetables. It's fantastic. The program costs about half as much as other programs, and it works twice as fast. And if you're anything like me, you want to see some of those results. It helps motivate you to keep you going. If you are interested, go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. I could not be happier. I'm working on getting to my goal, and I am reaching it faster than I thought possible because it is insane to watch your body lose up to a pound a day. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or go online to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey. And last week we were touching on the spending. Well, we were talking about a higher level. Does spending affect turnout? We didn't really get to a conclusion on that one. But in general, we are in election season once again in Wisconsin. You've probably already.
We just end one?
We just ended one, indeed. But such is life in a purple state. But also such is life in a state that has kind of unlimited funding, not only when it comes to super PACs, but also some of our state finance laws. Compared with a new law in Maine that aims to make a big change in their state's campaign finances. So it's basically has to do with super PACs. And Peter Cameron, managing editor at the Badger Project, wrote about this new law, and he joins us now to break it down. Welcome back to the show, Peter.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Peter.
So before we get into it, just remind us how super PACs work. What is the loophole they create when it comes to campaign fundraising and spending?
So super PACs can raise an unlimited amount of money. They can also spend an unlimited amount of money. And that was, they were created by the Citizens United case that everybody is probably familiar with. But the catch is they are not allowed by law to coordinate with campaigns, with candidates. So they are supposed to be separate. They're not supposed to be communicating.
Got it.
And what's the new Maine law say? Well, how have things changed up there?
So in this, let me just step back a little bit. In the last presidential election, Elon Musk dumped, I think, 200. I don't want to say, but tens of millions, maybe hundreds of $1 million into super PACs. Supporting Donald Trump. And Bill Gates, for example, I think he put $50 million into a super PAC supporting Kamala Harris. And you can imagine the different billionaires that are supporting the candidates. So in Maine, they've passed a law. It wasn't the legislature that passed the law. It was a direct democracy ballot referendum. So the voters voted to cap donations to super PACs at $5,000. So Elon Musk could only give $5,000 to a super PAC. Important to note that in Wisconsin, we don't have that direct democracy referendum on the ballot. We can't do that. But yeah, so the law, the law which they passed caps the amount of that you can donate to a super PAC at $5,000. Lawsuits were immediately filed. So now it's being litigated there, and probably will end up before the Supreme Court at some point.
So I have two follow-up questions just on the logistics of it, if you understand it. As far as so how does this affect, if a state does this on their own, especially when we're talking about national campaigns? So is it super PACs that are incorporated in the state? Is it donors who live in that state? How does it work as a state-by-state level?
That's a good question, and I don't think I know the answer to it. But yeah, if it's a state, the state of Maine can't legislate what happens across the country. So it must be in Maine. But of course, if the Supreme Court rules, if they say this is okay, the Supreme Court says that you can't restrict how much a super PAC spends, but they haven't ruled on whether you can cap what someone gives to a super PAC. So that's an unanswered question that the Supreme Court will rule on. And if they say it's okay, then I think you'll see lots of states doing it. And I guess the federal government could do it as well. The Congress could do it as well.
Interesting.
You brought up the Citizens United case. What are the similarities and differences between that case and what the lawsuit will be challenging this Maine law?
So let's see. Well, Citizens United, let me step back again. So one thing I hear a lot is that people want to see Citizens United overturned.
Mm-hmm.
And but one important clarification is that I think a lot of your listeners have heard that the Supreme Court has ruled that money is equal to speech in terms of First Amendment protections. Citizens United did not do that. That was a case from the 70s called Buckley versus Vallejo, which so if you're talking about overturning things, you have more than one major case that needs to be overturned. Now, as far as the Maine case, I think the Supreme Court. I'm trying to think. The Supreme Court said that super PACs there can't be any limits put on them as far as their spending. The Maine law is trying to cap what goes into the super PACs.
So it's basically limiting donors, not the super PACs themselves. It's limiting, in the names that we usually hear around here, like U-Lines. We always have out of state. I think even Pritzker is donated to the super PACs. So it's more about the donor themselves than the kind of nameless, faceless super PACs that are the small print at the bottom of any campaign ad of who it's sponsored by.
Yeah, the Supreme Court has allowed caps on donations. So, for example, if you want to donate directly to Donald Trump's campaign or Kamala Harris's campaign, in this last election cycle, it was $6,600. So the Supreme Court says you can put caps there, which I guess is a restriction on your First Amendment rights, according to them. But the question now is, can you cap what's going to a super PAC, to an independent political organization, not a political party, not a political candidate?
And so then the one thing I was wondering, because of how would this change anything in Wisconsin? Obviously, we know that there's super PACs spending money here, but how does this play with the fact that, 8 years ago, when Scott Walker was still in office, and the legislature decided to roll back what could be donated to political parties? Does that mean that that's unlimited? And would it really matter if you could only donate a certain amount to super PACs?
Yeah, so we've all seen that. Those of us that still watch TV, that still watch broadcast television, you see the ads are just political ads flood our airwaves during campaigns. And a lot of that is, some of that comes from the campaigns themselves. Some of that comes from independent spending groups like super PACs. So if a law like this was allowed to stand, a cap on donating to super PACs, you probably, the guess is that you would see just fewer political commercials on TV. Maybe not. Maybe the money would go elsewhere. But the idea is that it brings, so an Elon Musk, a Bill Gates, a George Soros, whoever, they just have so much more power than an average person that because of their money. They have they have much more speech than the rest of us. And the Supreme Court says that's okay because money is speech. But the idea is in theory, it would bring the wealthy a little closer to the rest of us in terms of how much political speech they're allowed.
Got it. All right. Well, Peter, thank you so much for joining us today. It'll be interesting to see this case develop and how it makes its way through the courts.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, Peter. All right. Well, we will come back with more after this.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, we profile the average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning that they'd be saving a life, becoming everyday heroes.
Brian Lathrop, school bus driver, coming his way, a semi-truck in the other lane, and it's creeping over the center line.
Tried to get around him, see if I couldn't avoid him, and he ended up going right down the side of my bus. I don't feel that I'm a hero. I did just doing my job.
Everyday Hero, Thursdays at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News, presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the President's Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big bucks on top brands like Bradenton Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradenton Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases. And it's free. Stop in today and save now during the President's Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Are you ready to embark on a voyage like no other? At Fox World Travel, our specialty cruise desk creates unforgettable cruise experiences just for you. Explore the serene Mediterranean, the exotic Caribbean, or the breathtaking beauty of Alaska. We partner with top cruise lines including Celebrity, Holland America, Royal Caribbean, and Viking. Enjoy personalized itineraries, exclusive deals, and expert guidance. From booking to boarding, we manage all the details for a stress-free experience. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO, press 2, and mention code radio to start planning.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey.
We're never going to get all that money out, right? I mean, we talk about it all the time, but we see more and more money just pouring in, especially when a state like Wisconsin doesn't have a lot of guidelines as far as it goes.
Well, it's not because, yes. And so it's also just interesting as far as who would be in charge of getting all of the money out, right? Sure. It was Feingold and McCain who were so adamant against Citizens United, but who was very for it? Mitch McConnell. And so the fact that they're, I mean, and the what Peter didn't say as far as the immediate challenge to this Maine law came from a group that has ties to a Republican super PAC. And so if you have the money, like I think the people who are involved and thus have, as to take Peter's words, have more speech than the rest of us.
Right.
Like those are the people who are not interested in getting politics out of money. I would also imagine there's a lot of media companies who are not interested in getting money out of politics either because they make a lot of money by, like
Selling ads.
Yeah, like swing state broadcasting as us. I mean, I don't know how much we make as a station compared to our other partners, but every 2 years, unless it's, there's no Senate race or no governor's race, but even those are far in between.
Right, because there's
a lot of money to be spent on broadcasting commercials for campaign ads.
Those aren't free.
Exactly.
You got to pay.
So I think everyone who doesn't have money to spend like that to influence a campaign would like to see money out of politics.
Because it does give
That's why it was a direct referendum that got that passed versus the legislature being like, oh, this would be good for everybody.
No, the people don't feel like they have the same voice. It is more money equals more influence, more voice, and regular run-of-the-mill voters, we can't drop $100 million into a campaign or a super PAC.
Or $20.
Yeah. It's sure, we can send, when Bernie Sanders was talking, all his, so many donations under $20. Yeah, it's fine. But now when it comes to buying broadcast spots.
I know. So we'll see. I mean, I like the idea. I like that it was a direct referendum. I have no idea how it will fan out in court, but we will follow it. All right, ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Lawmakers in the House set to vote on a Republican resolution described by House Speaker Mike Johnson as a budget blueprint for President Trump's agenda.
This is a big one. We're very, very close, and we're excited about the progress, and I'm very positive, and I'm absolutely convinced we're going to get this done.
He can only lose 3 Republican votes without Democratic support, and there is concern in home districts that Medicaid could be on the chopping block. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries today at a rally.
Today we stand together as House Democrats with the American people to push back against this reckless Republican budget.
Consumer confidence plunging in February by 7 points. That's the biggest in over 4 years, with Americans worried about President Trump's tariffs and a looming trade war. The Vatican says Pope Francis remains in critical condition but stable as he battles pneumonia. He's been in the hospital in Rome for 12 days. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31, 47 degrees and sunny at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. A suspect is dead after a police shooting in the town of Fond du Lac. Deputies responded to the Woodland Park mobile home community last night for a person with a felony warrant. The suspect refused to listen to commands, so police first tried a non-lethal weapon to subdue the person. The suspect then pulled out a gun. That's when a second deputy fired, hitting the suspect. The person died at the hospital. The officer involved has been placed on administrative leave. Well, it's not a guilty plea from the man charged for causing a school bus to flip on its side. 22-year-old Khalid Osman faces second-degree reckless injury and reckless driving causing injury. The crash happened last Thursday morning near 16th and Wilbur. The 45-year-old bus driver was taken to the hospital for injuries. No kids were on the bus. Osman admits he was racing another car at the time of the crash. He tried to brake, but ended up hitting the bus and causing it to flip. Atwood Avenue now reopened in Madison after a business fire. Madison fire crews extinguished a fire on a rooftop at Kip Corporation, which started just before 11 o'clock this morning. Everyone in the building was evacuated. Firefighters are still searching the roof and ceiling for possible fire extension. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A mixed bag here. The Dow is up about 60 points at 43,516. That's the good news. The bad news is the NASDAQ is getting smacked here, down about 260 points at 19,026. S&P 500 off about 35 today at 59.49. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today. Time for a look at your roads. A WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic update. Still have the right shoulder blocked due to a disabled vehicle at 43 southbound at I-794 East. It's out of traffic, not too much volume in that area. Just be mindful, move off to the side if you have an opportunity to do so. Otherwise, standard travel times throughout the system this afternoon. Partly cloudy today, a high of 47. Increasing clouds tonight, a low of 33. Possibility for scattered showers on Wednesday with a high of 45. 42 your high on Thursday, 52 the high on Friday. Cooling off a little bit here for the weekend with a high of 35 degrees on Saturday. 49 degrees in Waukesha, 49 in Madison, and 46 in Green Bay. I'm Greg Matzik. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Fall in love with your vision with a new style from Shopko Optical. Use your vision benefits and schedule an annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopko Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. Treat yourself to a new style. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
It's time for Giving Tuesday, where we introduce you to Wisconsin people and organizations that are advocating for causes and doing good across the state. And when we think of a food pantry, we think of obviously exactly what is in the name, right? Making sure that people in the community have food. But Kinship Community Food Center is more than just a food pantry. It uses food as an entry point to help our community thrive. They engage volunteers and neighborhood residents to end hunger, isolation, and poverty. Amanda Ferendorf is the Senior Communications Associate at Kinship Community Food Center, and she joins us now.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show, Amanda. So I guess, as I kind of said in the setup, would you describe what sets Kinship apart from what we typically think of a food pantry?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things. I don't know where to start. I would say what stands us apart is the wraparound approach that we have to serving people in our community. So I think you mentioned it earlier, but we really recognize that food is actually just the entry point to creating community, establishing relationships, and ultimately making change both in individual lives, all of our lives can be changed by this, as well as in our greater community.
So you call it Kinship now, but
yes.
River West, that area has had a history of food distribution since the 70s. Can you give us a little timeline, a little history?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the River West, formerly known as River West Food Pantry, started about 45 years ago, kind of in the church basement of St. Casimir, where we're still located. But it was kind of built on the backs of ladies in the church who really recognized a need as an extra church ministry for people in the neighborhood who really needed food. Along with that, and then pairing up with the East Housing Association at the time, they created two sites, one in the St. Casimir basement and then the other one in the Gensland Elementary School. We no longer are at the elementary school, but those were our primary sites for probably 20, 30 years. And so we were serving the community, and then we became a separate individual nonprofit about 11 years ago. Where we were able to establish our own organization.
And so with the organization as it stands today, there's multiple different programs. And so like I said, with a food pantry, we typically, I think of you can come in and you can get the food and take it home. But so some of the programs, I love that they're all verbs. So it's shop, grow, feast, stride, and I don't know what else I'm missing, but those are the first ones at the top of the list.
Definitely the
so
top
what
ones.
are kind of the different pillars of the resources and services Kinship provides.
Yeah, totally. So I think it's really important too to even think about what a food pantry model versus like a community food center model.
Yeah.
So a food pantry model is I come in, I get my food in a bag already pre-picked out, and I go home, and that's it. That was like the end of the interaction. A community food center, the goal is to completely envelope the person that comes in with what other needs do you have? How can the food be healthy for you? And how can you have your own choices in the food that you're bringing home? So like you mentioned, we have a multitude of different programs that wrap around that. But the three, we kind of call them pillars to better understand our programming. So the first one is Nourish, which is very much focused on the food, the health focused around a lot of our work. We do food demos with food we have at the food center, so that way people know what they can bring home, how to make it, how to prep it for their families, and other attributes like that. We also have our second pillar, which we kind of envelopes belonging. So belonging kind of is interspersed in our approach, but basically it's just so many people, volunteers, donors, and shoppers alike, really, especially post-pandemic, but even before then, just isolation is just such a huge, not talked about crisis in our communities. So how can we kind of break that invisible wall that exists so that we can establish relationships, get to know each other, especially from diverse backgrounds, from diverse socioeconomic classes. And so it's just, actually, I know what it's like to be hungry, and so do you. So how can we come around that? So that's the belonging one. And then Prosper is kind of just building upon the other two pillars, so that way people can be in a stable place to be able to make their next choice forward. So our best program that exemplifies that, I would say, is our Stride program and our Workforce program. So our Stride program is working with individuals that come in with a need for food, but then we recognize food's really just like a small part of their story. Legal assistance, housing assistance, utilities assistance. We have some staff that are specifically trained in resources. And so it's mostly navigating the sea of information to try to help somebody navigate through that. And so the goal with the Prosper aspect is like, okay, so many people come into our space, maybe not like extreme crisis, like potentially have thought of, like maybe they still have their homes, maybe their family's still together, but it's like paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Like one small thing could throw their lives into absolute chaos. So how can we create a space of friendliness, camaraderie, and stability so that way they can choose to put down their payments to go back to school, so they can pay off those bills, so they can like advance in whatever goals they personally have for themselves.
Got it.
Going back to the difference in the two models, it sounds like the food center model that Kinship is doing also would erase any sort of misconceived stigma that would go with, like, when you say food bank, people have that concept. You go in, here's your bag of food. You don't have any choice. You're kind of dependent on others. Where here it sounds more, okay, yeah, you're getting some food, but there's a lot of other ways that we can help.
Yeah, and I think also a huge, huge, huge part of our model is that we're trying to erase the stigma of like giver and receiver. Like there's always this concept, like if you're a volunteer, normally you're coming in the mindset of like, I'm only here to give. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help someone less than I am, whatever that means for you. And someone who's coming for food often can have the feeling of, I'm actually here just to like take food and leave. Like I don't really have anything to contribute. So we try to break that misconception and try to like argue that no, actually, as a volunteer, you have something to receive here from somebody else. And as someone who's coming for food, you have something to give of yourself. We say it all the time, everyone gives and everyone receives. And we try to instill that in all the language we use, the way we do our programming. So that way there isn't this dynamic where one group of people might feel above the other or vice versa.
Like a power dynamic.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So then one of the exciting things is in November, Kinship Cafe opened on Thrive on King. And so that, I'm guessing, is part of the Workforce and Prosper pillar.
Yes, exactly. So our Workforce program is kind of an extension of that Prosper pillar I talked about, where everyone that's part of that program came through our other programs or other parts of our community. Either they were volunteering with us, shopping with us, or in one of our other programs. And they were in a place in their life where we're like, yeah, you know what? You have the ability to take that next step in life. Would you like to be part of our workforce program? Our workforce program is about a year, a little bit more than that, where we take on people from our community and we kind of walk them through employment building skills, person skills, teamwork skills, through the lens of like healing, community, therapeutic conversations, mostly trying to work through. What I've heard is very unique about our workforce program is that it's not just employment skills, but we're trying to work with the person through all the other things they've carried in their life, past traumas, past pains, so that way they can kind of reconcile and become in a place where they can take that next step. All that to say, Kinship Cafe is the new public-facing part of our workforce program. We're so excited for that opportunity and that partnership with Thrive on King, which I can talk more about later. But their mission is really focused on bringing health and opportunities to that specific neighborhood. Our workforce program, which creates job opportunities and employment skills specifically for people, really fit the bill for that. Along with that, under the direction right now of Caitlin Cullen and the Shania and Nikki, who she's training under her to take over the cafe fully, all of the food options are healthier options. They're completely made from scratch. So the things that normally other restaurants might buy in bulk. I know I was talking to one of the workforce individuals, and she was saying, yeah, we make all our dressings from scratch every morning. Wow. Every morning, all our dressings are from scratch. And the salad pieces, the rest they buy in bulk for fresh produce, and they chop it up and cook it there. There's no like
pre-packaged, pre-washed bags
yeah,
of
exactly.
salad.
Yeah, so we're bringing a really cool, healthy, unique option to that area for people to hang out with.
And I've also, was it true that that's you can still get the famous chicken sandwich from Tandem since Caitlin Cullen's involved?
Yes.
So it's the fried chicken sandwich, maybe not the healthiest, but delicious.
But still made from scratch. The sauce that goes with it, the chicken's pounded every morning, guaranteed. And as a personal lover of the Tandem sandwich, I can say it's just as good as it was before.
All right. Do you have any like success stories that hit you the hardest from any of the pillars?
Oh, man. I mean, honestly, there's so many. But I think I'll actually talk about Nikki. So she right now, Nikki Danielson, she's going to be embarrassed I'm mentioning her, but she is like a real success story that I think has embodied like what it means to be part of a community food center. So right now, she's our cafe associate at the Kinship Community Cafe. But before that, she was really, really struggling in her personal life. She would say it herself. She was basically living in her car with her 14-year-old child, just trying to figure out what the next move was. She, because of personal reasons, was really struggling with substance abuse and trying to figure out a way out of that. So through a different substance abuse program, she ended up at Kinship, where she started volunteering. She started to get to know the community. She used it as a food resource and she was like coming to feast meals, which are community meals we have. She got help through Stride, through some other logistic aspects of her life. And kind of through that, she found a space where she was like stable. And then she was invited to be part of our workforce program. So she is a successful workforce program graduate who then upon graduation, we had the opening and offered her the job to be the associate at the cafe. So she would say it herself, like she's going back to school and she's like, I can't imagine my life without Kinship. Like a year and a half ago, I was in my car, but now I feel like I'm in a place where I can like actually make this next step for me. And Nikki's kind of like a star example. And I think it's funny because success stories for us also doesn't mean that.
Yeah, sure.
And there's so many people that come through and their success is like they made a friend because they're socially isolated in their own homes or have significant trauma where trusting someone's very difficult. So like Nikki's one that gives me goosebumps, but I know there of so many more that their steps are so much smaller, but also just as significant.
All right. Tell people where they can get more information.
Oh my gosh, kinshipmke.org. You can find it all there.
All right. Amanda Ferendorf, Senior Communications Associate at Kinship Community Food Centers. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll be back with more after this.
If you know of a Wisconsin organization you would like highlighted on Giving Tuesday, email us at spanning@wtmj.com. We can always use a little help from our
Hey, boaters!
Inexperienced boaters are more than welcome here, because at Kendor Marine you'll find all the answers to your questions on parts, installation, troubleshooting, and the best part is, when we figure out what you need, we can grab it from our massive inventory of boat parts and supplies that no one around can match. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
Where else are you going to find weather stripping for a 77 Carver? That's what he said, and I don't know the answer to that one, but he sure was glad he found it here. I'm Dave Doro with Kendor Marine, and when it comes to boat parts and supplies, we have it all. If you're a boater and you need it, we got it. And that's why you got to get here. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Feeling like winter inside your house? WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for USA Insulation. Many homes built before 1980 have little to no insulation. Anything you do, better than what you got, but you call USA and now you've got the best. Their foam injection method, 35% more efficient than your standard wall insulation. Most jobs done in as little as a day. Some homeowners qualify for thousands in rebates and discounts. Every USA customer begins saving money day one. USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results. This is why good people and good culture should matter to anyone looking for an exterior remodeling company they can trust. It's going to be your experience and the end result that gives you peace of mind, because you'll know your work was done by people who care. We realized early on that if we were going to change the reputation of this industry for the better, that finding good workers that you could trust to do great work was going to be the key. We're attracting good people every day because we take care of our people. We want to make sure they feel important because they are. And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too, with excellent customer service and high quality work. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Whatever you want to call this season, we're over it. Time to look forward to
Fly ball, right field. It is deep. It is gone.
spring training is finally here and back on the radio.
Swing and fly ball, right center field. It is up. It is gone.
Make sure to catch our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the Dodgers Wednesday at 2. No matter the season, we are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
All right, it is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey. And so I found this morning. So the Wall Street Journal had a report out because I remember you and I both, after
we're back
into with amazement for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which broke records. It was like $10 billion online. It was a 10% increase from the previous year. And so this is how much spending there was despite everything being more expensive.
Yeah.
And everyone pointing to the economy being what it was when we went through the election. Well, and this is what a lot of people push back on. It's like, who's spending the money?
Yes.
So the top 10% of U.S. earners, this is from the Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
So this is households that make $250,000 or more a year.
I'm out.
They're responsible for 49.7% of all spending.
All right. Well, that clears things up a little bit.
So it's the highest it's been since Moody's Analytics began keeping track in 1989. And so
But for the rest of us,
so the 90% of earners are spending
about
not
half
even
the
about
money,
50, less than 51%. But the top 10% are
Wow.
responsible for 49.7% of the spending. And so that makes a little bit more sense.
Yes. So more money not only means more speech, it means more stuff.
More stuff.
So it all goes together.
Exactly. All right. Well, when we come back from the top of the hour news, we will spin around the state on Spanning the State.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Are you on track to achieve your retirement plans? Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We've recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move to Creative expands our ability to provide comprehensive wealth management, investment advisory, and retirement planning services. Now is the time to put your lifetime of hard work into action. For over 37 years, we've helped clients toward making their retirement dreams become a reality, and we'd like to help you too. And the best part, your plan will be completely tailored to you. Our in-house team of specialists will take the time to learn about you and your family, review your current situation, and find out what your goals are. Then we'll design a plan to help you get there. To get started, request your free meeting today with one of our fiduciary advisors by visiting creativeplanning.com. Whether you have met with us in the past or this will be your first meeting with us, we're excited to introduce Kowal Investment Group to you as Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com today.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano. John Mercure here. Wait, does that car say Pella on the side? What's Gina Della doing here?
Sorry, I'm late.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Recognize my voice? Get used to it.
Talk all things Windows, business, and being a boss in more ways than one with Gina Della from Pella's very own show right here on WTMJ. Starting February 1st, tune into What's the Difference every Saturday morning at 6:30 or stream anytime on WTMJ.com.
What a tease.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why, through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now, the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse straight. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
The only place to get this.
Middleton driving past Kuzma, left-hand shot swatted away by Lopez. Brook came in from the weak side and blocked it.
With some of this.
I respect Chris Middleton. I'm so appreciative of everything he did for this organization on and off the court. It was probably time, and I think the Bucks are in a better spot.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show with Justin Garcia and Brandon Snide. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Built Right. One location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Tonight, the Bucks are blasting off into Houston to take on the Rockets.
Around a Giannis screen, pocket pass, Giannis with a head full of steam, glides to the rim and lays it in. Bucks by 4.
Our coverage starts at 6 with Bucks shoot-arounds. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 2 o'clock, it's 47 degrees. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 33. Tomorrow, scattered showers, a high of 45 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm John Mercier. A Whitefish Bay Elementary School associate principal is facing homicide charges. Associate principal at Cumberland Elementary, Rebecca Solomon, is charged with homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle for a crash from December in the town of West Bend. Police say Solomon failed to yield at an intersection, crashed into another car. The driver of that vehicle was seriously injured and died a few days later. Solomon has an initial court appearance in Washington County scheduled for March 18th. We'll have much more on this story on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. A well-known burger joint on Milwaukee's east side has closed its doors. The George Webb location on Oakland is shut down as of last Wednesday. Senior broker at Ogden Real Estate, Michael Testa, tells WTMJ the goal is to fill the space with a more recognizable restaurant chain.
We are looking for a little bit more of a national chain that's going to have some stability within the space rather than a local group. At the same time, looking for something that's going to fit the neighborhood and going to be a benefit for everybody in the area.
George Webb operates 21 restaurants across Wisconsin. 21 civil service employees have quit Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, saying they won't use their expertise to legitimize Doge's actions.
The resignations include engineers, data scientists, and product managers who said in a joint letter they would not use their skills to compromise core government systems or jeopardize American sensitive data. The letter criticized the dismissals earlier this month of 40 Doge staffers, saying their removal endangers millions of Americans who rely on Social Security, among other systems, and makes them less safe. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The staffers who resigned worked for what was once known as the United States Digital Service. There's a pending sale on the Slinger Super Speedway that would keep racing at the track. Current track owners Todd and Elizabeth Thielen say the buyers are local fans that transitioned into racing themselves. The names of those new buyers have not been made public. The Thielens say they expect no changes to the upcoming race season. And the United Performing Arts Fund hopes to boost fundraising by 16% this year.
The number is $10.7 million.
A launch event this evening will be the first for UPAF's new president and CEO, Anne-Marie Scobie-Polachek.
Enjoying performances from the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. There will be a number from Frankenstein the Musical, which Skylight is putting on, and also a performance by the ballet.
UPAF and your donations, the reason our fine arts in Milwaukee are as fine as they are.
We are the largest United Performing Arts Fund in the nation.
Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Mixed bag today so far. The Dow is up 181 points. The NASDAQ is off 204. Right now, the S&P is down 17 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 204.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
With the help of Less's Glass, you can have the shower you've always wanted. Heavy glass shower enclosures from Less's Glass are installed by the best in the business. And when you have a showroom to visit with over a dozen glass shower enclosures on display, there's no guessing games. See the ultimate in frameless shower design with doors mounted on smooth as silk, stainless steel barn-style rollers. This design combines the beauty and elegance of heavy glass with a minimalist look to create an ideal shower enclosure for tight spaces. Premium shower doors and custom-designed all-glass enclosures. When you work with Less's Glass, you're working with a company that really can do it all. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all Sports Desk. Scouting Combine Week is underway in Indianapolis. A goal for Packers GM Brian Gutekunst.
We need to affect the quarterback with 4. You know, we had good moments last year, but it just needs to be more consistent. It needs to be able to control the game, and we need to control the game and finish games off. I'm excited about the guys we have in the room. We'll see if we add to it, but that's got to get better if we're going to accomplish our goals that we want to accomplish in this season.
The Brewers continue Cactus League play this afternoon against the Guardians. Winners of 4 straight, the Bucks travel to Houston to face the Rockets. Coverage begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. And college hoops, 21st-ranked Marquette hosts Providence for a 6 o'clock tip. The 11th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers host Washington. That's an 8 o'clock tip. Badgers Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited Siding and a whole lot more. All right, let's check out those roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Only one issue, I-43 southbound heading to 794 east. The right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle, so be careful there.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The successful Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring positive professional servers and bartenders. You'll make great cash. Inquire today. Start next week. MineshaftRestaurant.com. The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 33. Tomorrow, scattered showers, a high of 45. Thursday, an isolated rain or really light snow shower, a high of 42. Friday, mild, breezy, 52. On Saturday, we cool back down, partly cloudy, a high of 35 degrees. Right now in Madison, sunny and 49. In Green Bay, sunshine and 46. In Milwaukee, sunny skies and 47 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 208.
time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
Another day, another collection of stories from around Wisconsin. If you miss any of the details and want some more, text the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. Text the word SPIN to 855-616-1620, and we'll let you know what's going on in spinning. Are you ready?
Ready. Racine.
All right. Well, instances of businesses having their networks hacked is becoming a common story, and the potential damage of those hacks can be catastrophic. That is the worry in Racine, where a recent security breach of the Racine Unified School District might have involved unauthorized access to staff members' personal information. Oh, that's always nice. Student data was not impacted, according to a forensic investigation, which was completed in January. The Journal Times quoted an email from Tim Peltz. He's the RUSD Chief Information Officer. The email was to district staff. In part, it read, quote, "The investigation showed that the security breach may have involved unauthorized access to a subset of data stored on our systems, and that is data containing certain staff personal information. We have not identified any impact to student data, which is hosted with an external vendor and not on Racine's local systems. We're continuing to work to review all potentially affected employee information," end quote. It mainly affected the breach, RUSD's internal network and systems. External systems the district uses for areas such as human resources were not impacted. RUSD is now completely back online after dealing with technology issues for about 2 months, and they are covering the cost of credit monitoring for all their employees. What a nightmare. But it seems like things are getting easier and easier to hack. So I don't.
Or hackers are getting better?
Yeah, probably both.
This is why you do those cybersecurity quizzes that you have to do at your company.
Oh, they tried to catch me. They tried to catch me the other day with one. They will not catch me. Will not catch me again. That's right. I threw it out there. Here we go. Spin it.
Marinette. All right. Flashdance.
Oh, what a feeling.
Just the 1980s classic where the main character was a young woman who supplemented her dancing aspirations by working as a welder.
Yes.
That career choice seemed highly unusual in 1983 when the film was first released. But times have changed, man. As many schools and technical colleges focus on promoting skilled labor through the various trades, women, not shockingly, are often left behind. The American Welding Society reports that only 5.8% of all welders are women, demonstrating a large group of untapped potential welders. In an effort to encourage more women and girls to explore welding careers, Northeast Wisconsin Technical College Marinette has partnered with Samuel Pressure Vessel Group to hold their yearly This Girl Can event on March 5th and 7th. This Girl Can is a two-day hands-on event that allows girls in grades 7th through 9th to explore the welding field. Peshtigo Times quoted Marinette campus Dean Cindy Bailey, who explained the importance of events like this. Quote, "It really is to get young girls interested in non-traditional occupations. It's getting women into the trades. It's getting men into healthcare. Since this is the first time many of the attendees have ever tried welding, there are a variety of female mentors ready to help." Before starting, women from the math department explain how math is applied and how to read blueprints.
Huh.
Let's go play with fire, baby.
Yeah, and look, listen, I think that's great. I do remember seeing Flashdance and everybody laughing. Look at her, she's a welder.
Who was it, Jennifer?
Jennifer Beals.
Yes. Then obviously had a resurgence on the L Word.
Oh, okay.
She was a star on the L Word for a long time.
There you go.
Great hair.
She'll always be the girl in the chair getting the bucket of water splashed on her to me. That's iconic, shall we say.
Chippewa Falls.
All right, well, who knows more about what a child will like to read than a teacher? Now, lately we've heard about a number of teachers writing children's books and having success with them. Now we can add a art teacher from Chippewa Falls to that list. Robin Kelly published Ostriches Eat Sausages, an alphabet book, in 2021. It was in honor of her daughter Jana, who was killed by an intoxicated driver while picking up trash along the road with her Girl Scout troop. By early 2024, Kelly had sold nearly 2,000 copies of the book and donated all the profits, about $3,000, to the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation, which she co-founded with friends and family to carry on her daughter's legacy, which is very nice. Now, sales of the book slowed a little bit after that, but now, according to reporting in the Chippewa Herald, the Wisconsin Education Media and Technology Association selected Ostriches Eat Sausages for the 2025 statewide Battle of the Books. In Battle of the Books, students across the state read and study the 20 books selected for their age level. It culminates in an online statewide battle where teams of 2 to 4 students work to answer questions about the books. Ostriches Eat Sausages was also nominated for the Golden Archer Award, a Student Choice Book Award, also facilitated by WEMTA. Of the 5 books nominated for the primary education category, Kelly's is the only book written by a Wisconsin-based author and the only self-published book. And since she was selected, the sales have gone up again, which is great news. More money for her daughter's Memorial Foundation.
Oh, very sad origin story.
Yes.
But I love the name. Ostriches Eat Sausages.
Yes.
Very fun to say.
We love children's books, mostly because I understand them all. Let's tell you that if you want any more details on these fine stories, to text SPIN to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. And you can also find Spinning, the entire show, and all our interviews wherever you get your podcast. When we come back, we're going to head to where it's sunny and 75 down. Dom Catronio is in Arizona. We're jealous, so we'll talk to him about Brewers spring training on Spanning the State.
The Upswing with Jeff Sherman.
Todd McLeese from humanskills.ai. I think there's this growing sentiment, Todd, that all these tools, there's some privacy concerns.
At IRS and other government agencies, there are people in the mix. Now, when you talk about DOGE and headcount reduction and so forth, maybe there's some concern there, but I don't think we're there yet.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. We have talked with a number of new clients who told us the same story. They had a tax situation and went with one of those national firms with the TV and radio ads. They guarantee they can settle your tax owed for pennies on the dollar. They take a $10,000 fee up front, and then you never hear from them again. We are a local firm and just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security check get garnished, or a lien put on your house so you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and call 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a plan to solve your situation right now. It will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. Call now, 844-222-1192, or visit rightchoicetax.us.
Looking to escape the winter chill? Fox World Travel has you covered. Whether it's an all-inclusive vacation with Apple Vacations, a luxurious Princess Cruise, or a European adventure with Globus and Avalon, we create unforgettable experiences just for you. Enjoy last-minute deals, exclusive offers, and personalized itineraries. From booking to boarding, we handle all the details for a stress-free trip. Ready to get out of the cold? Call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code RADIO to start planning your getaway today.
Nothing says spring and warm weather and the summer are right around the corner. Then baseball and Brewers spring training has started. While we're here, not really suffering. It's in the high 40s today. Dom Catronio, the man who hosts Brewers pre and post game, Brewers Weekly, is in Arizona, basking in the sunshine, slathering suntan lotion on his head, and making us all suffer from FOMO. Dom, thanks for joining us. How are things going in Arizona?
A lot of sunscreen on top of my head today as a bald man, but it's another beautiful day here in the Valley of the Sun. I'm watching Jacob Mizorowski throw 99 miles an hour to the Guardians, so it's a great day.
Not too bad. So what's the vibe as the team reported? Pitchers and catchers obviously reported early, and now the team's there and the games have started. Is there a different kind of vibe under Pat Murphy's second year, or are things upbeat and the same?
things are very much the same. I would say that when it comes to the current the construction of the roster, there's so many familiar names and guys that are just back from last season that there's no reason for it vibe to change. Now, there are obviously a couple of departures, notably Willie Adames and Devin Williams, and a view on the coaching staff too. But, you know, we talked to Mark Canna today, who was just signed to a minor league deal, and he raved about how much he enjoyed this clubhouse the first time he was here and how much the continuity mattered to him to ultimately sign here on a minor league deal as just kind of an olive branch. So I think that really speaks echoes to the culture the Brewers have built under Pat Murphy in just 2 years.
All right, Dom. So Christian Yelich is back, not one of the people who has departed, and he said that he's expecting to be on the roster for opening day. How has he looked over the past few days at spring training?
He looks great. He has not entered in a live game per se. Pat Murphy did say that he expects to get him into a live game at some point when the calendar turns. And then I was reminded that, you know, February is only 28 days. And I forgot that. Oh, wait. That's,
it's the last
Saturday.
week of February already.
Oops.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, wow. So he's a little ways away. And then I'm like, oh, wait, it's this weekend. But Yelly should be back fine. I actually caught up with him a little bit today. He hit batting practice on the field. And it's all glowing. Everything's great right now when it comes to
new back.
the new back, everything's working out.
Nice.
He looks healthy. He's a full participant in running and defense, and he's a veteran. He knows what he needs in spring training. And let's let the dude. There's some 27 games of spring training after today, so there's still plenty of time for him to get some game action.
All right, you mentioned Willie Adames. Everybody knows he went to the Giants. He left that hole at shortstop. What's the prognosis for the infield?
If I had to guess right now, I mean, I think the betting favorite is Joey Ortiz getting the nod at short, keeping Bryce Terang at second, and then figure out what you have at third. And that could be a combination of Oliver Dunn and Caleb Durbin. Today, Durbin is playing third while Dunn is DHing. They're going to get the most plate appearances of anybody on the Brewers roster this spring because Durbin was acquired in the Devin Williams trade. He's a utility infielder. He can play third. He can play second. Dunn is probably more focused on third base, maybe even some first base in case of emergency work there too. But a combination of those two guys with Joey Ortiz at short and Terang, the platinum glover, at second base, I think is the probably the favorite of what's going to actually be rolled out for the Brewers this season.
All right, Don, bring me up to speed. What is the automated ball strike system, and what has the reaction been so far?
So the reaction's been kind of muted when it comes to that system. And in case for folks who aren't aware, Major League Baseball has been testing this for years in the minor leagues, where there is an electronic strike zone that we can use to grade umpires. But instead of just using it as a grading system, we can use it live in the game. And the way that this challenge system works is an umpire is still calling balls and strikes. But if the batter, the pitcher, or the catcher feel the umpire missed a call, they can simply tap the top of their helmet to signal, I'm challenging that you got the call wrong. And everybody pauses. And if you're familiar with professional tennis, this is very similar to the Cyclops system. Whenever you have a challenge in tennis, everybody waits. They go to the Jumbotron. It takes 5 seconds. Was it a ball? Was it a strike? No. And then we move on from there. The reaction's been muted because a lot of the big leaguers, that have never seen this system before, say, like, well, if it's not going to be in the regular season this year, I don't want to spend a lot of energy on it. We'll learn some things about it, but the minor leaguers have been raving about it to the big leaguers, and which is why it's important to continue to test this in front of the guys that are ultimately going to be using it maybe as soon as 2026. Major League Baseball has been very, very cautious with their timeline, understanding that they do not want to mess with the sanctity of the game. They still want umpires to call balls and strikes. But if we have this challenge system maybe late in the game, we can make sure the biggest calls are made accurately.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like the most recent big change was the clock, right? As far as like you have to get up, you have to get, and like you have a time limit as far as how long you can take in between batters. And I feel like that's been some people didn't like it at first. I like it. I like how fast the games are going and it's moving along. So is this a bigger deal and a bigger change than that, you think?
Well, I think it's a bigger change. And literally, as we're talking right now, there was a challenge that just happened here in the big league game. So it was called a strike. They called it a ball, and they show it live here on the Jumbotron. Less than a half inch missed the top of the zone here on the pitch that was called a strike. It's actually a ball. So like, that's how quickly it happens.
Okay.
So when it comes to your question there about the clock, there were people extremely skeptical at the start of the announcement. Like, we're bringing a pitch clock into baseball. There were some purists that were really angry with it. And then all it took was one game for them to realize this is the greatest
Yeah, this
thing
is a lot
ever.
better.
Oh, my goodness. We were all wrong. And I think it was so quick to latch on. And again, I give Major League Baseball kudos because they trained minor leaguers on this first.
Mhm.
They knew big leaguers would be able to adapt so that the minor leaguers weren't surprised by it when they were in the bigs. And the big leaguers, okay, I get a few less seconds to hear my walk-up song. No big deal. Let's play ball.
There you go. You mentioned Mark Kenya and how he was signed to this minor league contract. Brewers fans remember the big grand slam he hit 2 years ago in the playoffs. First of all, for people who have heard the term but aren't really sure, can you explain what a minor league contract is and what do you think this means for his future? On the permanent roster.
Yeah, so Mark Hanna, he had been a free agent all offseason. He had spent time last year with Detroit and with San Francisco. So when it comes to a minor league deal versus a major league deal, it means he's not on the 40-man roster. The 40-man roster is important because that's what you need to pull from in order to be on the active roster. And he is not on that 40-man right now for the Brewers, being a minor league deal. If he earns his way onto the team and performs well enough that the Brewers feel this can be our backup first baseman / designated hitter, that's where he needs to be added to the 40-man roster, which is currently full right now. That's the maximum amount of players that you can carry on a reserve roster. While 26 are active, you have 40 on a reserve roster. There's injured lists and things like that we can get into. The point of the story is Mark needs to earn his way onto the team. However, he's in a position where he's right-handed, which helps this team. He can play first base, and as a backup, Rhys Hoskins is going to be the everyday first baseman. He can play outfield in a pinch. He can be a pinch hitter. He's somebody that Brewers have familiarity with, and I'm really thinking he's going to have a chance, but it's not a strong chance. And maybe this is where somebody else gets injured around the league, and they have a more pressing need at first base, and they can acquire Mark from the Brewers, and this is sort of like a give him a chance to get back into the show.
Ah, there you go. Real quick, you said 27 more games in spring training. What should fans be looking for and paying attention to?
Well, I think obviously the infield, like we've already talked about, who's playing where, what is that going to look like? And then the fifth starter battle. And Jacob Misiorowski, who's pitching right now, is going to be a candidate. He is going to pitch in the big leagues at some point this season. However, he's struck out a batter, and he's walked 2 batters, which is exactly his scouting report in his time in the minor league. So they're going to be monitoring him, Logan Henderson, Chad Patrick, who pitched yesterday. Who is going to be that fifth starter for the Brewers? Because it's all but certain that Brandon Woodruff is not going to be ready for opening day, which is fine. He wants it to be that way. He wants to make sure he gets innings in. So what I'd be watching for is watch these guys that maybe you haven't heard much about, Nashville guys that are really, really tremendous in what they did in AAA last year as the Brewers pitching factory continues to churn.
Dom, always a pleasure. Keep the sun off your head. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Take care. That's Dom Catronio. He hosts Brewers Pre, Brewers Post, Brewers Weekly. He's in Arizona. We're all jealous. More
So
after
jealous.
this on Spanning the State.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show,
Wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
we are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.
Hey, boaters!
Where else are you going to find weather stripping for a 77 Carver? That's what he said, and I don't know the answer to that one, but he sure was glad he found it here. I'm Dave Doro with Kendor Marine, and when it comes to boat parts and supplies, we have it all. If you're a boater and you need it, we got it. And that's why you got to get here. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
Inexperienced boaters are more than welcome here, because at Kendor Marine you'll find all the answers to your questions on parts, installation, troubleshooting, and the best part is, when we figure out what you need, we can grab it from our massive inventory of boat parts and supplies that no one around can match. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
You saw something on the text line?
I did. Someone from the 414 said there's never any love for the Admirals in our sports update.
Well, all right, let me give you some love. The Admirals play tonight at home, 7 o'clock against the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. That should be good enough. The Admirals coming off a tough loss the other night, but tonight is also Cowbell Specialty Jersey Night, where you can get a jersey that pays homage to the 25th anniversary of Saturday Night Live's More Cowbell skit. And if that's not enough, Chris Kattan, from former Saturday Night Live cast member, will be there on Salute to Cowbell Night. He will be on hand for laughs, hockey action, and plenty of cowbell.
Who was all in the original sketch? Was it him and Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell, Walken, Christopher Walken, okay. Will Ferrell. I believe Horatio Sands was in it, but I can't be sure. Right. But it's mostly Will Ferrell.
Who doesn't want to see? I bet he's very small in person.
Oh, he's very tiny.
Very tiny.
Well, he's Mango. He's very tiny. So we love the Admirals. ABC News, local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Amid sweeping layoffs across federal agencies, Majority Leader John Thune says Senate confirmed agency heads should have broader authority over personnel decisions affecting their agencies instead of Elon Musk and Doge.
But I would also argue, again, that in anything that they do, they need to be respectful of people that are involved in these agencies and departments of government.
White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt at today's briefing described a more unified picture and defended Musk's email to employees asking them to list their recent job accomplishments.
And let me be very clear, the president and Elon his entire cabinet are working as one unified team.
The Vatican says Pope Francis remains in critical but stable condition as he continues to recover from pneumonia. The 88-year-old pontiff has been in a Rome hospital for nearly a week. And the brutal cold snap and snowstorms, much of the country has now shifted to the spring-like temperatures this week. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:31. A Whitefish Bay Elementary School associate principal is facing homicide charges. Associate principal at Cumberland Elementary, Rebecca Solomon, charged with homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle for a crash from December in the town of West Bend. Solomon has an initial court appearance in Washington County March 18th. We'll have much more on this on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. A suspect is dead after a police shooting in the town of Fond du Lac. Deputies responded to the Woodland Park mobile home community last night for a person with a felony warrant. The suspect refused to listen to command, so police first tried a non-lethal weapon to subdue the person. The suspect then pulled a gun. That's when a second deputy fired, hitting the suspect. The person died at the hospital. The officer has been placed on administrative leave. And there's a pending sale on the Slinger Super Speedway that would keep racing at the track. Current track owners Todd and Elizabeth Thielen say the buyers are local fans that transitioned into racing themselves. The names of the buyers have not been made public. The Thielens say they expect no changes to the upcoming race season. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A mixed bag. The Dow right now is up 227. The NASDAQ is off 192. The S&P is down 14 points on the day. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. All right, let's check out those roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. One little issue as you look at the map here, it's one from earlier. The right shoulder is blocked and traffic is slowed. I-43 southbound going to 794 east. The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 33. Tomorrow, scattered showers, a high of 45. On Thursday, an isolated shower, a high of 42. Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 52. And on Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 35 degrees. Right now in Madison, sunny skies and 50 degrees. In Green Bay, lots of sunshine. It's 46 degrees. And in Milwaukee, sunny skies and 46 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:33.
We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. I say this because that's a pretty big number. But at Century 21 Benefit Realty, it's really not about being a top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission and no more than $19,000 commission, for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Baby got ballet dance in the open
Well, why would Rita be playing this song? It's spanning the state. I'm Kristin Brey.
I don't know. I'm Brian Noonan. Now, I know inevitably when I talk about the Packers in any way that is even remotely critical, people remind me where I'm from and the team that I root for and how the Packers have owned them over the decades. And I am the first to say, you're absolutely right. There's no argument. But this to me was a little much. If you watched the Super Bowl and if you had followed football at all last season, you know about the tush push, the play that the Philadelphia Eagles have pretty much perfected to the point where it is almost unstoppable. It used to be just a regular quarterback sneak, but now the Eagles run it where two guys line up behind Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, on very short yardage, and the line moves forward as a wall. Two guys push Jalen, and he leaps over to get that 1 yard. And it is, like I said, pretty much unstoppable.
So was there a change in the rules, or did they just come up with this? And because they have the biggest offensive line, and so they're like, oh, we're just going to do this. We found a loophole.
Well, there used to be a rule that you couldn't assist a runner. But then that rule went away.
Okay.
And so once that rule went away, people started figuring, well, how can we get these? And again, it's usually goal line stances or 4th and inches.
Yes.
It's much less than a yard. It's if you have to go 3 inches to get into the end zone or to get your first down, that's when they use it. And these guys, like, oh man. So it came out yesterday in an interview that on the NFL Network that the the vice president of football operations had said some team.
There's one team. Yes.
Team is trying to get the league to ban the tush push. Well, once that's out there, you know these sports guys are always looking for the scoopa-loopa. Well, The Athletic got it, and they reported that the team was, yes, the Green Bay Packers. The Packers who, coincidentally, I'm not judging, but they did lose to the Eagles twice this season, including a 22-10 defeat at Philadelphia in the wild card round of the playoffs. Does that play into this? I don't know. But Mark Murphy, who is the president and CEO of the Packers, said, I'm not a fan of this play. There's no skill involved, and it's almost an automatic first down on plays of a yard or less. Okay.
That's the point.
That is the point.
Because why argue that this is like it takes no skill versus like a classic quarterback sneak?
Well, he went way back on this one.
Okay,
and he said we should bring back. The reason they got rid of the push and they brought this back is they said it was too hard for the officials to see if somebody pushed. But now, too bad, that's the way it goes. We should go back, he said, to prohibiting the runner. That would bring back the traditional QB sneak. And this is where he went deep.
Like a deep cut?
It worked pretty well for Bart Starr and the Packers in the Ice Bowl. Okay.
Okay, old man.
Do we have any references from this century that we could make? It just, listen, the Packers are a heritage team. They're a good team. This seemed a little whiny.
It does on its face. It seems a little whiny. Well, especially because there's not being the one team that's asking for something versus like, well, there's we've been talking, we've come to this conclusion, we think that this is what's best for the league.
Right.
Instead of being the one squeaky wheel that's like, we don't like this. This isn't fair.
We can't stop them with this play. They're too good. I mean, there has been talk about linemen on both sides of the line getting hurt through this play, and so. If the league looked at it and went, listen, too many linemen are getting their necks screwed up by this play. We have to get rid of it. That's one thing. But they beat us twice and we couldn't stop them. Again, feel free to text or whatever. This is not hate toward the Packers as a team or an organization. This particular instance seems like sour grapes.
Well, it's also like, is it just Mark Murphy?
Yes.
Like is it LaFleur? Is there more people putting their stamping this like we want this changed, or is this just Mark Murphy being like we don't like this?
He's the only one who came out against it.
All right.
He has displeasure with the Eagles and their coach Nick Sirianni.
But that is a see. This is why you have to craft your argument better, right?
Yes.
You're like if there's actually and this is politicking, right? Like you get more, you can talk to your other CEO and GM friends and be like, oh, this is like, and you advocate and then you come together as a coalition. Like it's like be better at politics, Mark. That's my takeaway from this.
I don't like it. You know what the Packers need? They need to be more gritty.
Oh
yes, that's a term.
Not like the Philadelphia Flyers mascot.
He doesn't need to be any grittier than he already is. That guy is gritty. Grit. I had never heard the term till I started working here, but is it something you can teach, and who needs to learn it? We'll get into that and more after this on Spanning the State.
Do you have a written financial plan? Hi, I'm Aaron Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We have recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move allows us to provide more comprehensive wealth management services to help with all aspects of your finances, including your investments, taxes, estate plan, and more. At Creative Planning, we understand life is busy, and sometimes important things like retirement planning can fall to the wayside. So I'm here to remind you to take time to plan. A 1-hour complimentary consultation with our fiduciary advisors will help you get started on the path to your dream retirement. We will review your current financial situation, your goals and needs, and help you plan for life's what-ifs. Don't delay planning for your future any longer. And even if you already have a plan, a second opinion from our advisors can help determine if there are adjustments to make. Kowal Investment Group is now Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com to get started. That's creativeplanning.com.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 5-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Heiser's Snowy Roads Sweetheart Prices sales event is happening now. Remaining 2024 models are priced to go. Looking for a vehicle that can handle our wintry roads? Get yourself a reliable all-wheel drive that can handle anything winter throws at you. With heated seats to top safety features and our exclusive Safe and Sound program, which includes roadside assistance for life, our vehicles are built to keep you cozy with peace of mind, even when the roads get slick. But hurry, our 2024 models are almost gone. So visit Heiser.com today.
See dealer for complete details.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true. But offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
Much like a satellite that's out of orbit.
I mean, we could put a man on the moon, but we're still basically very stupid.
For the past 4 years, the Rockets' playoff appearances have been dormant.
You see what I'm saying? Well, yeah, you can build a rocket, but he's still stupid.
The Bucks head to Houston to take on the Rockets.
Kyle Kuzma goes bowling right into Harden. Counter with a foul!
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:30. We are the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristin Brey.
I'm Brian Noonan. Other than the aforementioned orange fuzzy ice skating guy, what do you think of when I say grit as a personality trait?
I think of resilience.
Okay.
I think of fortitude, being persistent.
Wow, very good. Yes. Those are all the things.
Thesaurus over here.
Well, you are. Grit is defined as working strenuously to overcome challenges and maintaining effort and interest over time despite failures, adversities, and plateaus in progress. So all the things
All
you
those
said
things, yeah.
are synonymous with grit. Experts say that grit is essential to success, but can you teach grit? If you have a kid that's just kind of like,
I think you can teach, because I think you have to teach grit, right? Like, I don't think it's an inherent skill that you're either are or you're not, right?
Correct.
Like, you have to either get it from your parents or through adversity, or there has to be a mental stamina of being like, I will persevere.
Well, a new study came out of Norway where they found that teenagers in Norway, especially teenage boys, are having a lot of issues with mental health and not feeling good about themselves and things like that. So this study suggests that a brief educational program can help those teenage boys develop more grit. They say it's linked to success and well-being. They discovered that a short intervention focused on building belief in one's own abilities leads to a noticeable increase in grit among male students. So it's like listening to Stuart Smalley. You're good enough, you're strong enough, and by gosh, people like you. That's all over Norway. It's piped in everywhere.
Interesting. Okay, so basically, but it was more for the study. It was more so a difference in young men than young women.
Yes,
because the program they did it with everybody.
They did it with everybody. They had a control group, and then they had a group that participated in this I can kind of intervention, where it was positive messaging, and they were filling out questions about themselves, and then as they finished the program, they had to write, what they had learned and what they felt good about themselves. The control group had no increase in grit. The students who went through this I can intervention graduated with a lot more grit. And I don't know how they
measured. I think it was the
grit.
difference between like the questionnaires,
questionnaire,
right?
Yeah.
But I guess what would you think would develop that? What are we calling a characteristic, a skill set? Where does grit fall as far as a personality trait?
Yeah, personality trait and a character trait, all of that. I think, well, one of the things they were blaming it on or questioning is a term I had not heard before, lawnmower parents. Because I've heard of helicopter parents.
Heard of helicopter parents. What is a lawn?
Well, they go through and they remove any obstacle from their children's path so that the kid has nothing but smooth sailing. And if you have smooth sailing all the time, God bless you. I wish that would have been great.
Well, I've seen this also in like the model or motto of trying to, at a young age appropriate chores around the house.
Yes.
And that how much it can do for a kid's sense of self to be able to do things, right? And be able to have that sense of accomplishment of like, I can change, it's like simple stuff, taking the garbage out, putting the dishwasher, dishes away, folding clothes, and like the effect on confidence levels from kids who have more responsibilities at home. And so like that makes perfect sense to me as far as if you don't, it's kind of the stuff when we talk about, this is always my frustration of nobody wants to work anymore, right? But I'm serious as far as like that if we did not have certain capitalist mentality of if we made it like a universal basic income, people wouldn't work then. Right. And it's like, I think you're missing the point that there's a human condition that we want to be productive. We want to do something. We want to do something that matters. And I think that's the same thing that goes with this of teaching grit. I can, giving chores, as far as there's like a human element of wanting to be able to do something.
Well, there are 3 key elements and messages of this I can. You can achieve more than you realize if you invest sufficient effort.
Okay.
So just on this will resonate with you. If you want to get better at free throws, what do? You got
to practice free throws.
You shoot more free throws. Number 2.
Unless you're Giannis.
Well, sure. When faced with challenges, you can overcome them if you put your mind to it. And self-belief and a positive focus are keys to success. So those are the 3 messages of this I Can program that they're trying to teach young boys. And then they write down a personal reminder of what they've learned, like I said. So it makes sense. Like I said, grit, I guess it's all the terminology because, grit was not a term that I used or was used with me, but determination and self-reliance and those kind of terms.
Well, it's more of a funny that this is a Norway study because I feel like grit, like what does grit translate into in Norwegian? I don't think of grit as think of it as like a very American word.
Yeah, and Norway just seems like for all the study. Norway is always like one of the happiest countries in the world. It's like, then what's going on with their teenagers, with their gloominess?
I mean, I think it's the teenagers everywhere. I'm not sure it's isolated to one spot.
Adolescence is just every adolescent portrayed on TV is a pain. Every adolescent you run into is a pain. Now, they have good qualities and they will do good things, but overall,
it's like your least favorite age. Of kids is adolescence.
My least favorite age as a human.
No, I know, but as far as like you prefer toddlers and elementary school kids.
Yeah, and then, college kids.
If you're just skip middle school and high school altogether.
Yeah, I'll see you later. There's too much going. Like there's too many hormones racing. There's too many smells associated with it. I get reports from the middle school teachers nonstop about how it stinks.
Yeah,
and they have to have
conversation of like.
Yeah, they have to have deodorant in the classroom because they smell. And I'm sure. Listen, I know I stunk and I was a pain. So I'm not saying that they're any worse than past generations. They're just teenagers, which is inherently a nightmare.
And they need to be grittier.
They do need to be grittier. Just like
everybody's soft.
Well, yeah, they go to school. They have a desk. That's not gritty. You got to show up. You got to show up and sit wherever. Maybe you sit on the floor for geometry. That'll make you tough and gritty. All right, let's do this, and then when we come back, maybe I'll still be here. It's Spanning the State.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
It's unclear if the process for offering people those type of buyouts is being properly followed.
Entertainment.
When you win a little statuette, it's a big point of pride.
And more.
I was under the impression that everybody loves Buc-ee's. Not so much.
Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert.
While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, AccuNet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
At the Milwaukee Auto Show, we have a vehicle for almost everything, and we certainly have a vehicle for your thing. The Auto Show has the largest selection of vehicles from different manufacturers all in one place. Barrett Center, the 22nd through the 2nd. Buy tickets online, no added fees. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often, because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
That's about it.
That's about it.
Getting close to the end. Yeah, a lot of, you mentioned True Grit, and all of a sudden the text line lights up with True Grit. Oh, great movie, John Wayne. And then the remake was really good with Jeff Bridges.
I feel like I've seen the remake, because that was 2010, so it was a while ago now.
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen the original.
It was good. It was John Wayne. You know, if you like John Wayne, you're going to love it. If it was one of the more iconic John Wayne roles.
Was John Wayne just played the same guy again and again?
Pretty much, whether he was in the army or a cowboy or...
There's not a lot of diversity in the Rolodex as far as characters.
Till he finally...
Not a lot of stretch.
He finally died in the last movie, The Cowboys. That was the only time John Wayne died in a movie.
Oh.
Yes.
Was it symbolic?
Well, it was he was very old when he did it.
Okay.
Bruce Dern was the villain who killed him.
I was in a
that
movie with Bruce Dern.
Were you really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I was the girls' basketball movie I was in. We filmed it in 2004. It was Pat Thompson. The best player on the team. I make the winning shot to win the game. And Bruce Dern was the antagonist. He's like the superintendent. He was very good at it.
Yeah, of course.
And he is an interesting man.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He seems like he would be a tad scary and weird.
He was temperamental.
Okay.
There was days where it was like he have old, cool Hollywood stories because he was friends with Jack Nicholson and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was days where it was like, oh, maybe don't talk to Bruce.
Okay. Did Laura ever come to the set?
She did not.
Oh, that's a shame.
I would have loved that.
That's a shame. Well, listen, we can't reminisce all day because John and Julia in Wisconsin's Afternoon News needs to come your way. So we'll be back for a shortened show tomorrow because Brewers spring training baseball is happening.
It's here.
Yay.
See ya.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee.